It was one of those evenings when the sky looked tired. The sun was slowly sinking behind the buildings, leaving behind a dull orange glow that painted the streets with long shadows. People were rushing home, cars were honking impatiently, and the noise of the city felt louder than usual. But for me, none of that mattered. I was walking alone with my hands in my pockets, my head down, and my heart heavy. That day had been one of the worst days of my life. I had just lost my job, my savings were almost gone, and the woman I thought would stand beside me forever had left me with nothing but a short message that said, "I can't do this anymore." Everything felt like it was collapsing at once. I kept walking without knowing exactly where I was going. Sometimes when life becomes too heavy, people just walk, hoping the movement will somehow shake the pain out of their chest. But the pain stayed. By the time night started to fall, I had reached a quiet bridge on the edge of town. It wasn't a place people usually stopped. Cars occasionally drove past, their headlights cutting through the darkness, but most of the time it was silent. I leaned against the rail and looked down at the dark river flowing below. For the first time in my life, my thoughts went to a place they had never gone before. What if I just ended it here? It felt like life had already ended anyway. No job, no love, no direction, just emptiness. The wind blew softly across the bridge, and I closed my eyes, trying to quiet the storm in my mind. That was when I heard a voice behind me. "Beautiful night, isn't it?" I quickly wiped my face and turned around. Standing a few steps away was an older man. He looked simple, worn jacket, old shoes, and a small backpack hanging from his shoulder. His hair was gray, and his face carried the calm expression of someone who had seen many years of life. I didn't feel like talking, so I just nodded. He slowly walked over and leaned against the rail beside me, looking at the same river below. "You know," he said gently, "this river has been flowing here for over 100 years. Storms come, floods come, but the river keeps moving." I stayed silent. After a moment, he turned slightly toward me and asked, "Rough day?" Something about the way he asked that question felt different. It didn't feel like curiosity. It felt like he genuinely cared. I sighed and said quietly, "You could say that." He nodded as if he understood without needing a full explanation. "Life can hit hard sometimes," he said. "Harder than we ever expect." For some reason, the words started pouring out of me. I told him everything. The lost job, the broken relationship, the fear of not knowing what tomorrow would look like. I even admitted the dark thoughts that had brought me to that bridge. When I finished talking, there was a long silence. Then the old man chuckled softly. Not a mocking laugh, more like the kind someone makes when they remember something from long ago. "You know," he said, 20 years ago I was standing on this exact bridge." I looked at him, surprised. "Same place, same thoughts," he continued. "I had lost my business, my marriage had fallen apart, and I believed my life was over." He pointed down at the river. "I thought about jumping too." My eyes widened. "What stopped you?" I asked. He smiled. "A stranger." He paused for a moment before continuing. "That man told me something I have never forgotten. He said, 'Your life is a story, and you're about to end the book in the middle of a chapter.'" The wind blew again as the words hung in the air. The old man looked directly at me and said softly, "Bad chapters don't mean the story is over." Something inside me shifted when I heard that. He continued speaking. "Listen carefully. Right now, you can't see the next chapter of your life, but that doesn't mean it isn't coming. Sometimes the darkest moment is just the turning point before everything changes. Then he gently tapped the rail of the bridge. If I had jumped that night, I would never have seen the rest of my life. He began counting on his fingers. I would never have met the woman who later became my best friend. I would never have opened the small repair shop that now feeds my family. I would never have held my granddaughter for the first time last year. He smiled warmly. All those beautiful things were waiting. Just a few chapters ahead, the city lights flickered in the distance, and suddenly the world didn't feel as heavy as it did before. The old man picked up his backpack and stepped away from the rail. Before leaving, he looked back at me and said one final thing. Don't make a permanent decision because of a temporary storm. Then he started walking away into the night. I stood there for a long time thinking about everything he had said. Slowly, I stepped away from the edge of the bridge. That night, a complete stranger saved my life. Not with money, not with power, but with a few honest words and the reminder that my story was not over yet. And sometimes, the people who save us the most are the ones we may never see again.